young. It would be good morning for me a couple of days ago. Just returned on the 7th, 1 a.m. from a 63-day trip out of the U.S. and 5 countries. So I don't even know where I am right now. I've got a driver. Stand up there, driver. See, you got the driver. See, this is 2016, so he's flipping this thing. He's driving me now. We need to change this country. So he's flipping this thing. And I learned that from my disciples because I used to drive him, so now I got me a driver. So the goal of the disciple is to be like his disciple maker. Working on it. But it's good to be here with y'all. We just came from Sheffield, just drove down today to visit my parents because I'm headed out again Thursday, headed back to Honduras. Wayne Williams was with me over in China here about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they worked out just right for me to go home and see my parents for a day. They stopped through here on the way home. Plus, I got a phone call about an hour ago with a threat on my life. Brother heard that I didn't come through, and it was going to be over for me. So here I am. But for some of you who don't know me, I just share a little bit how I got into this process. I saved in 1981 playing baseball at Michigan State University. John Bramble shared his testimony, and that day I heard the gospel. My coach had been modeling that for me the whole time, and I saw it lived out in my context, in the baseball context. And I knew Jesus is what I needed. So December 5th, 1981, about 2:15, I surrendered my heart to Christ, and my life changed. And I just knew at that point everything was different, everything was going to be all right. And so Coach Kilpatrick and Kurt Kilpatrick, who's Dr. Kilpatrick in America now, began to disciple me in God's Word and just set a firm foundation in my life about how to read the Word, study the Word, and know what the Word says. And then I began to go to the high school after practice and share my testimony, share the gospel with them, and saw a lot of young men, a lot of people through that time period raise their hand, make profession of faith in Christ, but come back 3 weeks later, there's no change, nothing different about their life. And so I just said something's desperately wrong with this. Seeing a lot of numbers, a lot of hands raised, but no changed life. And so became frustrated in that. And I was saying, this is not enough. There's got to be more to this thing of evangelism than doing a slick presentation, a psychological presentation. If you tell any city kid, raise your hand or go to hell, who ain't gonna raise their hand? And so raising your hand is a better option than going to hell for them at that point. So they raised their hand and we counted the numbers and everybody pats you on the back. But inside I was saying something's just not right with this. So I called Brother Herb and said, and shared my frustration. He didn't address that. He just said, what are you doing tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.? I said, well, I don't have any plans. He said, be at my house. So I was there and sat at his house for 4 years, sometimes 3 times a week when he was in town with his travels. And he was just plowing deep into the Word and disciple making and just constantly going over those concepts and going over them again and again and again. And that's something we've lost. You know, we'll teach a lesson or we'll teach disciple making in one time and we think people catch it. And you ought to hold people after you're teaching and see what they heard. And you'll find out and be shocked that they didn't hardly hear anything that you said. And so one morning, I was on that couch, there was 12 men in the room, and he was teaching Ephesians 4. And I just went stiff on the couch, looking up at the ceiling, and I said, I see it, 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 I see it. And the whole class stopped. I mean, it was in the middle of his teaching. And they were looking at Brother Herb, look at the ceiling, look at me, and I'm still saying, I see it, I see it. They said, Brother Herb, what does he see? And he said, I don't know, let's ask him. He said, what do you see? I said, multiplication. Multiplication. And that was the missing piece. Addition just wasn't enough. Addition is not God's way. Addition is not the Great Commission. Addition is not the way Christ did it. You may start that way, but you can't end that way. It must work its way into multiplication. For you to experience this pleasure in discipleship, it must work its way into multiplication. So I saw that, and then he says, run with it. That's what he told me, run with it. So that day, immediately, I went back home, and I called, this before a cell phone, I called 2 men, and I said, I need y'all to meet me at 6, and I need to tell you the most important thing I've learned that happened in my life today. So it was a thunderstorm. I mean, it was pouring down rain. And one guy had to keep in his son's car. And it would have been faster for him to go back home and closer to go back home than it was to come where I was. But he got his son's car. You know, teenagers, they don't put gas in it, so it ran out of gas. Close to his house with me. Well, he gets out of the car and runs to where I was, which had to be at least 2.5 miles in this rain. He shows up, he's soaking wet, and he just gives me a big hug. He says, you need some of this too. So he soaked me down. And I sat down with those men at the office and I said, I don't really know all what I'm doing right now, but one thing I do know is I'm supposed to reteach you what I've learned this morning. And I said, and by teaching you this, I stand a chance of losing you out of Memphis, Tennessee, and close to personal relationship with you in Memphis, Tennessee, because I believe if God really plants this in your heart, that he may transplant you somewhere else. Well, one of those men was Jim Douglas, and God transplanted him, and there's about 10 or 12 folks here from Pennsylvania as a result of that. And just began to pour to him and other kids. I've worked with young folks and had some young boys in Hurt Village. You know, Hurt Village was so bad in Memphis, they put everybody out there to tear it down. And but one young man I've been discipling, he called me and he says, got some news for you. He said, man, who's dead now? Who's killed now? He says, no. He says, I just sit on the couch and led my cousin to Christ. Well, I taught him how to share the gospel. So then he, while I was all the way at my home 5 miles away, had now began to reproduce in others what I'd done to him. And I said, Lord, now I see it. I see what this is about, and I want to pour the rest of my life into making disciples like you did Christ. And over the years, it just takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of trial and error, it takes a lot of messing up, getting back on track. But the thing is, you can never, ever quit and stop. If you've seen it.
I'll give you a classic example. He's up here teaching in front of a big bunch of people. He's using the word association and they abbreviated on the board. Spell that word out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was on video. That's right. But so you just keep plowing, you keep plowing, you keep plowing. God keeps giving sight, more sight. And God will be a prayer for us all the time. Ephesians 1 verses 14 through 18. Just keep praying that God will illuminate more light, more light, more light. And here's the thing about it, what it's done to me. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once it begins to, once you begin to command it, it begins to command you. And once again, you begin to feel this pleasure in this process of making disciples. So I just stayed on Brother Herb as much as I could. I wouldn't get enough time that I wanted with him, so I just began to call Miss Judy and said, when he travels, let me know his schedule, and I'll free mine up, and can I drive? So I just began to drive him in close places, and if any of you have ridden with Brother Herb, you know that driving him, driving Miss Daisy, driving Brother Herb, and he's going to read a whole book to you while he's driving. He's going to share 69 illustrations and teach the whole way. And some of the lessons I teach today that have been taught all over the world and reproduced in some places, possibly a million times, and that's no joke. These lessons I've got in the back seat, somebody else is driving, and I'm listening to talk, and I take notes on them and just go immediately be teaching. And they're being reproduced all over the globe. So I just asked him, can I drive him, take overseas trips with him, just anytime I could be with him, call him on the phone, go to his house, watch a Cardinals game with him, watch Arkansas with him, and have to pray for him after that. Game watching Arkansas Razorbacks. And then just time, because one of the key, if not the key component Jesus did on his disciples was with me. The with me process, just being with them. And Jesus being a rabbi, and the ones following him were called Talmud, one of their heart desires, and one of the greatest desires they had was to pursue their rabbi Jesus. Now today in our society, we've got a thing in the West where young folks or people sit back and disciple making, and they kind of say, you ought to feel privileged if I allow you to disciple me. That's our mentality today. That wasn't the culture he came into. The culture he came into is you see somebody walking victoriously in Christ. You see someone who can teach you and show you how to walk victoriously on the daily, and you pursue them with reckless abandon so that you can become like them. Now, is Brother Hurt perfect? By no means. Does he have blind spots? Yes, he does. Does he mess up? Yes. But I know deep in his heart, he has a desire to please God, to correct his mistakes, to begin to shine lights in his blind spot. And I want to be there when it happens, because guess what? I'm going to fall short. I got blind spots. I need to see how to make corrections in the areas of my life that are weak. So Paul tells Timothy, follow me as I follow Christ. Follow me as I follow Christ. He didn't say follow me in the good times when I'm not walking strong, then don't follow me. Follow me now, follow me not now. He says follow me, just follow me, period, and become like me. And by saying that, Paul is saying, I'm going to be like Christ. If you follow me, then you will become like Christ. And that's another responsibility we've stuck to the side as believers. We don't want to take the responsibility of telling people, follow me and I'll show you how to be like Christ. Follow me. Follow me, and when you see me stumble, just hold on right there and watch me correct my stumbling, because you're going to stumble one day too, and you need to know how to correct your stumblings. And many times when we say the word stumble, we think of somebody who's relapsed on drugs or alcohol or cheated on their wife or something like that. Well, stumbling can be as simple as you had a good 1 hour quiet time yesterday, but today you only had 10 minutes. It could be as simple as you talked the wrong way to your wife in front of your disciples and stuff. Stumbling can be a very small thing, but have big repercussions. So I want to see how he corrects his stumblings, because I'm going to need that one day too. So find the best Jesus you can find in a human being, and you follow that Jesus. Follow that Jesus. And we don't want to take responsibility of telling folks to follow us, to follow me. Okay? So we got to get on top of that game. And I don't know if it's a security issue or whatever. It's not prideful. You see? You got all these kids want to be like somebody, then why shouldn't they be like you, who's being like Christ? Amen? So I would say at this point, we've done a conservative number on it, and I've probably spent over the last 25 years almost 29,000 hours up close and personal, face-to-face with Brother Hurt. And I've got some disciples who are with me who are working that same process, because they see the product of the process of when you walk closer to someone who's living a victorious life and can handle God's word and is making disciples. And one thing that really made me want to trail after him is one of my first trips was when you get off the airplane and you got these AK-47 stuff in your face. And I know he's too old, they ain't gonna use no bullet on him. And, it's wait a while. But they're gonna shoot me. They're gonna shoot me. You know? Yeah, they're gonna waste no bullet on him. And so, and I said, this ain't Kansas, Kodo. And I know some of y'all can't laugh at that, so loosen up. He and our relationship is better than what you think it is. So loosen up about that. You know, we circle this all the time. And see, you think that was bad, you get up here and start talking about me. We ain't heard nothing. Yeah. Some of y'all heard this before, but went to Jamaica one time, and we were going through, this was before 9/11, and man, I could go to Jamaica because of dark skinned country, and I wouldn't even have to pull my passport out there like, come on through mine. Come on mine. They had Brother Herb held up at every booth. So I said, look here, I said this, can y'all let my white man through? Can y'all just let my white man through so we can get on the teaching? I didn't think he heard me. So we get back in Atlanta. They checking all of my bags, all of my stuff. He walks up, he says, welcome home, boy. And then one time we in deep Georgia. It's so deep. I don't think they let it get dark at night. I mean, this is deep. So I'm driving him. We got this guy in the wheelchair. He got a disease to shake. He shakes all the time. And so, Brother Herb, I'll drive him down there, I'm pushing Scott in, and Brother Herb forgets his Bible. So he goes back and gets his Bible. So I push Scott in, and these guys sit around the wall, and number one, they were just shocked when I walked in. And I walked, and they just standing there, and I just began to walk up to them, and I said, how you doing? I'm Herb Hodges. I'm Herb Hodges. He walked in there, man, and they were standing against the ball, they shot. He had to straighten it out. And I thought Scott was going to shake out his chair. But we have fun like that along the way, and because we know each other, and we spend a lot of hours, a lot of time together. So finding the best leaders you can find in a human being to follow that Jesus. He's traveled out of the country over 200 times training leaders. I just finished, I think, my 130th trip over the last 10 years. I just got back in 36 hours ago and had been out 63 days. I left this country February 2nd and started in Nepal and left there after training and went to South Africa.
Think of the distances involved here, what that means.
And left there and went to China. And have been training in China for about 10 years and have a good core team there. And so they have been now training about 6 provinces a year. After I leave doing training, they're doing about 6 provinces in training with a goal of reaching all 30 provinces in the next 3 years. And I said, okay, y'all doing good here on the home base, but let's see about how to get you outside the borders, because there are places they can get visas and go close to their borders. And so we had a Chinese team went into the Philippines. They set it up, they did all the setup, and they were teaching the Filipinos the sacrament through a translator. And so it was amazing, it was marvelous. So now they can see how they can get outside the borders and go other places and train. And then came back into China, had 3 teams coming there while I was there. And then while I was there also went over to Laos. I was speaking at a camp that Money worked at KA last summer. A young white girl comes up to me and her name is Mookie. You don't forget a white girl named Mookie. So Mookie comes up, she says, hey, I'm Marilyn Laotian, and I was wondering if you would come and teach this there. I said, yeah, but you know, every time you teach, you have 100 people come up and say, hey, this is good, come and teach us, and you don't have to hear from them. So about a week before time to go, I got a call from her best friend, and she said, Luke is in Laos and we want to know if you'd come. So I began to check my map, and I said, man, I'm close enough. So my Chinese folks set up a ticket for us, and we rode over there and were able to make some connections and get hooked up. And so hopefully we're going to go back in September and do a full conference there. And they're doing stuff in the jungles. They got underground fellowships going. It's a pretty amazing place, and what's happening there. So I'm telling you, the Father just keeps expanding, 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 expanding. And here's what I see as the problem with issue is we don't have enough trainers. We don't have enough of you. I'll make it more personal. We don't have y'all making enough trips, getting out and doing training. Now, some of y'all sit in your fellowships and you can't preach there. They won't let you preach there. Some of them, they won't even let you teach there. And here we've got people out overseas that if you came and taught what you've learned in your Sunday school classes, which is probably very little, you would sound like a seminary professor there. And they would take what you've learned or what you've taught them, and they would go reproduce it 100 times. But here in the West, there's something going on that makes us feel like we're not qualified to teach the Word of God. And they're sitting over there just waiting for you to come and teach them what God says. What God says. And someone will be like, is it dangerous? Yeah, it's dangerous. But on that one, I'm the wrong one to ask about that. I live in the city of Memphis. I feel safe out there and I do in my own neighborhood. But you leave here and you go down winding roads, it's dangerous. So what's dangerous got to do with your fulfilling the Great Commission? What do circumstances have to do with your fulfilling the Great Commission? Aren't you glad that Christ didn't let circumstances keep him from going to the cross?
Amen.
You see, fear, well, overcome it. Overcome it. Step out. Trust it. And I'm going to tell you, he'll leave you in awe. He'll leave you amazed. So we need more trainers. And I hope that some of you, before you leave this place this weekend, that you will say to yourself and convince yourself, I need to be out there. But you don't let it stop at that. Talk to some of these folks who are going somewhere and get on a trip with them and get out there and get these people trained. Now, we teach here at home, and it's very likely, even if 10% will take and do anything with what you say. But over there, they hinge on every single word. You've been with me. Y'all been. Is that right? They hinge on every single word you say. Take meticulous notes, and then go immediately, even that night, and repeat it to their families in their home. Go repeat it to their small groups. Now, where does that happen here? You see? Now, no investor would invest finances like we approach the gospel here in the West. No investor. We'll spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, and if one person gets baptized, we'll go, man, that one person is worth it. Well, I've got a young man who's been with me for 20-something years, and I want him to price me $3.50. Gallon of orange juice and some day-old discount donuts. So give me that 100,000. I can bring you more than one. No investor invests like we invest. So begin to think, where can I invest that's going to bring my best return? Not only financially, but also with the Word of God. Well, it's not going to go to waste. I'm going to tell you, a lot of those places are outside this border. So I hope God presses hard on your heart. Seen a lot of things, and we don't have enough trainers. They're constantly begging, come teach, come train, come train. Do you have anybody else? Do you have anybody else? So let's get out. thank you so much for these tools and resources. Another thing I've learned is to really spend time with the key leader there, equip him, not only with just teaching, but also equip them with tools to where after you leave, they can continue to study. Got Wayne Williams set up one with me, a lot of places to teach how to use Discovery Bible. We need some of these seminars just like this out there so they can use these tools. I don't want to ever have to go to Asia again, not China, because they've got it going. I don't have to go there again. I love going there, but I don't have to go there again because they've got it. They're running with it. And Wayne came over and showed them how to use this Discovery Bible, these tools, and they are running wide open over there. I mean, wide open. It's such a blessing to see that. You see. So make those investments in your life. Make those investments financially, spiritually, to where you know you will see a return. As a matter of fact, I don't know if 2 Timothy 2:2 has been taught yet, but the command in 2 Timothy 2:2 is deposit, commit. It's a command. But the command is to do it to faithful people. So, you know why some of you are frustrated in the disciple making? Because you've compromised and you've tried to disciple reproductively, multi-generationally. You try to disciple the way Jesus disciples with an unfaithful person. And you violated God's command because he says don't deposit, don't invest, don't give all of this with me time to an unfaithful person because there's going to be no return. And some would say, well, people won't like me, this kind of thing. Well, I've seen it work the opposite. When you set a standard, and people raise that standard, then other people look for that standard. It'll draw them in and attract them. And next thing you know, you've got more people than you can count treading. So all we got to do is follow him at his word. You see, follow him at his word. But we need trainers. And if you ever wonder why God allows you to be in a setting like this, in my humble opinion, the most important place on earth today, globally, is right here in this room right now. Right here. So what does that make you? One of the most important persons on this globe today, in this room right now. If God would allow you to sit here and hear these principles and concepts of disciple making, what he set in place to impact and change the world. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Yeah. And what he's doing is he's giving us a chance to hear those words, well done, good and faithful servant. Because he only says those words in the context of investment. And he uses the money market principle to show what he wants from the land market, from the human market. And I so want to hear those words. So make good investments now. Make good investments now. I know I've been ranting.
Yes.
Yes.
When did you get your first passport? You remember?
Well, I got my first passport in 1983.
Where were you headed?
Well, I was playing baseball, and I played with Athletes in Action, and I was playing out through Oregon. But my first passport to do disciple making was 1990, and that was with you going to Jamaica.
How many guys had you not owned a passport? Personal passport in your hand? Hold it real high once in a while. Let me see the other side. How many of you do own a personal passport that's up to date? Well, we've been encouraging you to get out, put it in your hip pocket. Ask God to transplant you out of this country as quickly as the schedule could be arranged. And make up your mind to be in transit, settle that money. What he does. That's right. And he's been known to do anything for a visionary person to sponsor him. I've never asked for money one time in my life. And I come home from a trip and Judy says, this is our bank account. I said, where does this money come from? She said, oh, I just put it in where you go, you don't want to stay. I said, I died a long time ago, I'm anxious to see what heaven's all about. 17 years ago, they said, I don't want to see it. So,
Speaking of the money piece, see, I don't have the money. Every trip I've had, I mean, there wasn't no resources there. So this trip, I just began to set the flights and find out where to go. And, a week before time to go, I didn't have what it took to go to 5 countries, stay there the whole time, eat. And so, but it was firm in my heart. I'm supposed to do this, no doubt. And a week before time to go, I got 2 phone calls. And out of those 2, I didn't ask either one of them for anything. And I just talked to the Father. And a week before time to go, 2 checks came in and covered the whole trip down to the kingdom. And there are times, now I just said with you, there are times I work, I just can't ask folks for cheese. It's just hard to do that. But there are times my wife and I would go months without a check. But ain't never missed a meal. Ain't never been out. Ain't never had the lights off. Ain't never been out of gas. A lot of times I can go and I can't stay at home. Yeah. I stay at home, I starve. But money ain't God's issue. The issue is where are the faithful people who will trust Him and get out there and invest in people who need the gospel. You don't know there are places around the world where they haven't even heard the name of Jesus. They got a coat there. They got Tupac t-shirts, but they ain't never heard Jesus. And John 1:14, somebody give it to me. And the Word, the Logos, became, and what do we call the Word that became flesh? What name is it? Jesus. Became flesh and dwelled, tabernacle among us. Now what was the tabernacle?
Tent.
Portable, right?
Yes, sir.
Portable. Temples, permanent. Tabernacle among us. And then we beheld His glory. The glory is the only begotten Son of God, full of grace and truth. He tabernacled among us. In other words, God took on humanity and walked among us. Tabernacle, God's presence, in the person of Jesus. What does God live today? In us. Make it more personal, because I don't know where your birth certificate is. I know where mine is. Where does God live today? In me. So guess what you are? You're a tabernacle. You're tabernacling His presence around. So if He's going to have a visible, audible, and tangible manifestation anywhere, then I have to take Him there. So whose fault is it that there are places around the globe where people have not heard the name of Jesus? It's mine. It's mine. Does that mean I have to go there? No. Christ never left more than 120 miles outside of Jerusalem. Let me ask you this. Who all in here, anybody in here who does not have a cell phone? Okay, you see, this person is more like Jesus than I am. I got a cell phone. Jesus didn't have one. Anybody here who does not have Wi-Fi in their house? Okay, right here. More like Jesus than me, because I got Wi-Fi in my house. Anybody here who does not have an automobile, your own automobile? Okay, more like Jesus than me. I got 2 automobiles. Anybody here who does not have a passport? Come on. More like Jesus than me. I got a passport. He didn't have one. But yet, He reached me 1981 years later in Memphis, Tennessee. Now, you can't get no further away from Jerusalem than Memphis, Tennessee. So how did he do that? No passport, no cell phone, no Wi-Fi, no internet, no computers, no automobiles, no donkeys. How did he do that? Great Commission. Massachusetts. He multiplied himself through disciples. And in their day, about 60 years after Christ's ascension, Acts 19 tells us that in their world, in their day, there was not a person who did not hear the gospel. And it's not our responsibility for them to respond. It's ours to tell it. It's ours to tell it. So that person out there who hasn't heard you, they're my responsibility. They're mine. They're mine. So then I have to figure out a strategy on how in the world do I reach it. And that's one reason I go to the place in Asia I go. Because if this was a pond, where would I throw the rock to reach all borders of the pond? In the middle. For me right now, that's the middle. That's the middle. So find the middle. Get the rock in there. And then let him ripple to all the borders around the pond. Y'all feel it? Louis, tell me what that means, do they feel it? You understand? That's right, you understand?
Do I hear you real well?
Yes. So any questions?
I don't remember where it was. We were in a hotel somewhere. We sat down and started to figure out how much time we had. We came up with a figure on our own.
Right.
We did not have any idea what we were figuring out. Came out to exactly, so if you measure Jesus 3.5 years, 24/7, we spent exactly that amount of time to reach that point. Jesus went to go in day and night for 3.5 years. It's like, well, roughly, we'd be the 3 years. Awesome.
And most of it was not, most of that time was not set in his living room. It's what I call being in the flow of life. I mean, I just pursued the schedule, pursued it. And then guess what he began to do with me? He began to pursue me. Hey, I'm here. What are you doing? Hey, let's have lunch. I'm going to a ball game. You want to go to a movie? We just began to pursue each other in that time. Because if your disciple making is all scheduled, in other words, let's schedule, 45 minutes every Friday over Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit, and 15 minutes that is ordering, the other is just talking about UT football, and then 15 minutes of it's what we call discipling. That's not the way Jesus did it. That's our Western version of discipling. It's got to be with me. You've got to make time. And that may not be a good term. You've got to put together time. KUC, where you at? Okay, this KUC down. I hope some of y'all can know him, but where did we meet? We met, how many years ago?
I was in 2007, first started coming out to the bridge.
2007. And so we connected there, and then when the Lord allowed him out, then what do? We just time. It's time. He is one of the few, the only one I know that got to go right back in and do training. So where we go do ministry out there is about an hour and a half ride, almost, an hour and 10 minutes. So that's an hour and 10, 2 hours teaching together, hour and 10 back. And for a while I was doing it twice a month. And he's my barber. And you see right now, I need him. I got an afro. I ain't been there in a while. And so we get that time together. We get time as couples. We we talk on the phone constantly. Just the same thing as we were doing, the same thing we do with Big Claude and there. And it's just that with me time, pursue time, get together time, and it's fluid. It's not a scheduled time, it's fluid. You see, it's fluid. These things we just learned over the years. Floor. Any other questions?
Do you have any kids?
I do. I got 4 kids and 8 grandkids.
How does that work, being married and with kids? That's being the biggest hurdle.
Say that out loud, it's very like.
How do we make this work, being, I've been married 3 years this summer and I have 2 little girls? How do we make it work?
Like how do you disciple with your
Yeah,
kids?
spend that time with that person without, my wife feeling like, she's neglecting it, me and her got problems.
Well, I had to make sure I was getting enough in the home account. I was making, yeah, you gotta make sure you get enough in the home account to where she doesn't mind you being out discipling others. And sometimes that means my disciples coming to my home, you see, or being what she and I would be about. And now she feels that she's a part of this because now this young man is watching our marriage and she knows she's a part of this thing too. But I just make sure I get enough investment into my, what kind of account is it? Up close, personal, honey account. Honey account. Yeah, to where there ain't no problem for me being away from the house a while, you see. So,
I was just gonna say, on the same lines, what did that look like when y'all did have younger kids for Linda, from her perspective? I know she didn't go as much with you, overseas, but, what did that look like for her?
yeah. Well, the same as we have some other couples do, like y'all, is you got young kids, and let's see, he's been to Africa with me, with the China, and one goes, the other one stays, and takes care of the youngest while the other one goes. And now we've got couples whose kids are, I try to take couples as much as possible. We've got couples whose kids have grown and they were going separate. Now they get a chance to go together because the in-laws can handle the kids now, and they take short trips together. And we had Tracy and John Sullivan did that with us in South Africa. It was their first trip out together. They've been with us several times separate, and they got to go together, and it was pretty amazing. But here's the thing. If disciple making is where you really experience this pleasure, and if you're convinced that disciple making is the way Jesus wants to impact the world, not much will stop you from doing it. And when I say not much will stop you from doing it, that means you're going to strategize a way to make sure you're getting it done. If that means you're discipling with your guys at 3 a.m. when your wife is still asleep, then that's what that means. See, I've had classes from 4 a.m. Ain't nothing happening 4 a.m. You see, wife sleep. So you got to figure out a strategy on how to get it done. Now see, think about me and when she caught our eye and we was wanting to date her and be with her and believing she was going to be our wife. I don't care how many jobs you work. I don't care what your responsibility assignment was. You found time to be with that lady. To take out Taco Bell's 35 chicken, whatever it took. You figured it out because you had an intrinsic motivation that helps you get that figured out and run hard at that. I don't care how tired you was at the right day. I don't care how tired you was, you figured it out. You see, you figured it out. Same thing when this thing becomes intrinsic in you. You will strategize to make sure you get that time with family and wife and also get those time with those disciples. Yeah. So I'd love to sit down and talk with you more on a one-on-one basis. You in Memphis?
I live in Mississippi.
Okay. That might be one of the problems. But, legitimate question. That's a great question. Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah.
Take back on that. When I was in the student ministry, I had this kid that just wanted to meet me all the time, student, and I said, well, I'm going to grocery shop with my 8-year-old, so you can find out what that's like. Just kind of came along with me. We talked about God, but it was part of just one of the things I was trying to show him was like, okay, this is how you go shopping with an 8-year-old, live life, just learn. Because he didn't have father.
Yeah. See, your wife would let you take them 2 kids and go to the side and go to Walmart. Get the shopping done. She take a break, got the side with the kids. Now you disciple him along the way on how to deal with your kids, and he's going to ask you questions and stuff like that. It's with the flow of life. It's with you. It's just like they need to see you, and you need to disciple them in the flow of life. Look how Jesus did it. He's walking. Look at the trees. Look at the vines. Look at the birds. Look at the fields. Well, he's not sitting on a PowerPoint on the screen showing them that. They're out doing it. They're walking doing it. You see? They're walking doing it. He and I are driving. Man, I'm discipling him, but we're doing it just in the flow of life. We went down and had his feet under my parents' table eating them soup beans and cornbread and bacon, and we just spend 2 days together just discipling the flow of life. You see?
How do you get disciples? Would you just say, hey, you want to come get discipled? Or?
Ooh, hey, listen to this.
So like,
You don't get a disciple. I've never asked anybody to let me disciple them. Jesus called them the men thou gavest me.
John 17.
You run in the vortex of your run, God will use to loosen anything He has placed in the vortex of your run, suction into your run. If you're not running, how do you follow something stand still?
Yeah.
So get on the move, set the standard. Go up by yourself. I went overseas by myself, I don't know how many times. Couldn't care less. I'd go up every step of the way. In other words, that way you're not distracted by having to keep up with somebody. Well, we got chased by a falling wall and
There's
it started caving in behind us, the round terminal. It started caving in right there behind us, started putting crazy. He outran me. He outran me. He dropped his bag and ran back and got it.
Yes, sir. That's right.
4 or 5 people died before we just crossed 4 or 5 over hills in the corner. We just walked on by and wham, that thing down till the mark.
That's a great question. Same with me. A lot of times, when I first started, I'm sharing with you from experience a lot of mistakes. I've probably made more mistakes than I've had successes. But you businessmen know that you fail in business how many times before you get one good one? Huh? Any businessmen in here, let me see your hand. Okay, well, you know what I'm talking about. But you may have been out the blocks, successful all the way out the blocks. But they say, the materials you read, that most businessmen fail 10, 12, 15 times before they get their first good business going. But you know what? They don't stop. They don't quit. They learn from that. They make adjustments. And so, so all the ones I've asked because I thought I saw their potential, I thought they would be this great influence, and I was able to ask them. And then I set the standard because once again, if you're going to disciple the way Jesus discipled, you must set a standard. You must have a standard. This stuff about putting the cookies on the bottom shelf, man, don't buy into that. Don't buy into that. That's bringing the word down. Don't buy into that. Because all of my young kids, I could put the cookies on the top of the cabinet. And if they knew they weren't there, I'd come back, they would have pots and pans. They made a lamp out of pots and pans. Cookie crumbs everywhere. Because when they're intrinsically motivated, they're going to get away to these cookies. I don't care how I put them on the shelf. So never lower the cookies to a bottom shelf. Keep the cookies high. Set a high standard. Attainable standard, but set a high standard. And let them raise their head to the standard. I was watching California Chrome. Was that the last one of the horses was trying to win the Triple Crown? California something. And I was listening on the radio, and they said these horses run in packs. And if this horse comes out and stays in the second pack, he has a chance to win the Triple Crown. But if he falls back to the third pack, he'll never get it. And I began to listen to that, and it's like you always got to have front runners that the pack is chasing. You always got to have front runners that the pack is chasing. You never ask a front runner to come to the back pack. You don't discourage a front runner or try to make it passive or her passive by bringing them to the back pack. You let them run, and you let everybody else chase their run. Okay? But I always look and say, man, this person could be a front runner, this kind of thing. And then when I set the standard and they drop out, then I always say, well, I didn't want to be in it no how. That's something Sue asked me to do. But when a person asks me, because they see something in my life, I say, well, go pray about it a couple of weeks. When you come back, we're going to lay some expectations. We're going to lay some standards. You do that, okay? Pray about it another week and see if we're going to roll with this. Because I'm expecting you to feel these expectations. So we don't have any gray areas. This is what's expected of you. Now, we agree to it in a brotherhood. And I can speak from a man's perspective, but ladies can just translate this into ladies. So we agree to it as a brotherhood. So now when a guy doesn't meet his part of the standard, it ain't Soup's putting stuff on him. This is something we agreed to as a brotherhood, and we're going to raise and meet this standard ourselves in our study, in our scripture memory, in our sharing the gospel, all these things. So now if a guy doesn't meet this part of the standard, it ain't something that Soup imposed on him, and he may go around and say, yeah, man, Soup is tough and too hard. No, the other brothers go, no, bro, you the one slaughter. Matter of fact, you can't, but you before slaughter. No, you didn't meet the standard. So we did it as a brotherhood. So set a standard, hold to the standard. And if you ever compromise your standard, you shouldn't have set it in the first place. And don't be afraid of that. Your job has standards. Athletics has standards. But in Christianity, it's one of the few places that we don't have a standard. You ask the people in Sunday school class to complete the lesson, how many do it? What a waste of money buying all that Sunday school material that people throw away, leave in the class. You see, we take them through experiencing God. Okay, everybody gets your books, we're going to do this right. They don't have the lesson. Oh, that's okay, you get it next week. No, make them only pay $20. You see, if it ain't a stretch, it ain't worth being a part of. And if you compromise the standard, you should have never said it to begin with. But I'm going to tell you, there's something about it that brings something out of people, and your group will grow. It won't get smaller, it'll grow, because people are looking for something like that. Christianity is where we have the weakest standard on earth. You see, FedEx and people like that ought to be coming to us and asking us about our standard. We shouldn't be admiring theirs, they ought to be admiring ours. Gangbangers. We ought to be able to tell gangbangers men that, you know, son, I'm sorry you had to go to gangbanging because you couldn't hang with Christianity. I'm sorry you had to go second string because you couldn't hang with Christianity. Now you look at the book of Acts and you follow the book of Acts and the Apostle Paul's life and those folks, and you find me any passivity in there like we have today in our church. With me. You ain't gonna find it. You ain't gonna find it. We gotta retrain that, y'all. We gotta retrain that. begin to walk like that, you have so many of your broadcast telling you, you won't know to do it all of it. Yeah, they'll be pursuing you, you see. And in order for people to pursue you as a disciple maker, you need to be a disciple yourself. Great questions, man. Keep asking me questions. You know, some good questions.
Prayer, when you're in the middle of discipleship,
Speak up.
when you're in the middle of discipleship,
Okay.
how much?
Let's use the term Jesus used, disciple maker. Discipleship term in the Bible. Let's use disciple maker.
When you're in the middle of making a disciple,
Good.
how much does intercessory prayer on your part come so relevant to what you do?
Yes, sir. Praying without ceasing. All the time. All the time. Always. Because in John 17, many of you already know this, what consumed Jesus' prayer? His disciples.
Now tell me how that worked out. Somebody explain that to me. What consumed the prayer? How do you know it?
Because in 26 verses, he mentioned his disciples
How many
46 times.
That's right.
46 times in 23 verses, 2 times for every verse, he mentioned my disciples. He called them either by that title or they, my men. So if our prayers don't sound like his, we're not praying. The model is there, really, the model prayer, model prayer. That's the model prayer for disciples.
So if I'm going to be Christ-like, then disciples must consume my prayers. Because that's his standard. That's what he put in place for impacting the world, not only present, but future. And in that prayer, in verse 20, he not only prayed for those immediate ones before him, he prayed through them to me, and also through me to those who will believe in him through my word.
Beyond that, he said, pray that they will have the same relationship that you and our Father have.
Yes.
So that the world may know.
So the world may know. Yes, sir. Yes. So constantly in prayer for disciples.
What kind of standard do you set with you guys? What do you mean by that?
Okay. Well, number one, we have time. In other words, if we say we're going to meet at 4 or 5 a.m., that's what that means. We'll give you a 5-minute grace period to come in, and but after that, we lock the door. I mean, I've had guys come from York, Mississippi, and long drive, but they late. We lock the door. They bang on the door. We like to see you next week. Because if I compromise for the ones who've made it, then the standard is gone. And I've even asked the guys, I said, should we let him in and show grace? They go say, yeah. I said, sorry. We set a standard. You see? We set a standard. Now, if somebody was giving him $10,000 for being there at 5 o'clock, you think he'd be late? No. He'd be there. So what's more important, $10,000 or the future of people's souls and salvation and discipling? We're not going to compromise our standard for no measly $10,000. You see? And then, what's the name of the game?
I dare you to check how many times Jesus dangled the carrot of reward. Just take it to the corners. And let it down. It will overwhelm you. Nobody in our churches ever preaches on reward. They're abjectly stupid. Nobody does anything unless there's a dangle reward in front of them for it. Look at the athlete. Look at the soldier. You give him awards, he'll die for it. In the church, we're passing pew potatoes. Listen, if you can, I've been hit by better than you. I mean, we've so neutralized this contract, it's absolutely incredibly pathetic. So God Western Church has no breath of power on it whatsoever. Where is the Pentecostal? Where's the 2,000 being saved? Where are the 3,000? Where are the 5,000 being saved? You'd be hard pressed to find one convert in 10 weeks in most of our churches. We need to pray on our faces that God will wake the church up or kill it. And I think in the Western world, buildings are going to collapse. Yeah, I hope they do. In the early church, they didn't have buildings. Read the church that meets in her house, in his house, in their house. Romans 16, over and over again. It's mobile. We're stationary to a building. Biggest crime ever committed against the church was when Constantine mandated Christian church buildings to be built in the 4th century all over the Roman world. It started with a downhill decline and it would never recover. We are the church. We're the temple. We're the building. This temple is portable. It's a tabernacle, so you take it up and move it to the next place, move it to the next place. We're be carriers wherever we go spinning Jesus' home.
Thank you. And then, there's got to be skin in the game. If there's no skin in the game, once again, your standard doesn't have any bite. So you agree on the skin in the game. What does that mean? Does that mean something financial? What is going to be the skin in the game for this standard? Okay. Yeah, personal investment. What's that going to be? You see. And then the accountability of it. If we say, okay, we agree, y'all, to, and this is not a bunch of rules and regulations. This is something moving toward something. This is getting guys who've been passive, who no ones have held their feet to the fire, because that's what they wanted. That's what we said we were going to do. So we say, okay, how many times are we going to share our faith this week? So everybody agrees we're going to do it at least once a week, at least one. Anything, that's the minimum. And then anything over that's a bonus. But we're going to share it at least once a week. And that means not, are you a Christian? Yes. And I shared my faith this week. No. If I say, are you a Christian? That's my approach. And they say, yeah. Then I say, okay, if I was not a Christian, how would you share with me how to come to know Jesus? No, you got to keep rolling. We want to know, how are you really digging into this thing of sharing your faith? And Paul can tell you, when we come on that morning, everybody goes around and says, okay, let's hear your story. Who did you share with? What was their name? What did you say? And if somebody says, I didn't share it, then we're going to say, why not? Was you locked in a bubble this week? Did you not cross any lost people's path this week? We needed you to tell us what happened in your life that was more important in a whole week, how many hours of the week, days of the week, that kept you from opening your mouth and sharing the good news. If the Spirit be honest with us and tell us what the fear was, why did you fear? What made you fear? We want to know these things. Yes ain't an answer for us. We'll do things with accountability with wife, okay? You make sure that this week you write a letter to your wife, or you make sure you do something for your wife that is special for her. You take her out to dinner or whatever, this kind of thing. See, I've got a group, and I let you know right off the bat, Case is in it, and we're going to meet him, he's in it on the 24th. Well, they're going to have to get a gift, and every one of them going to have to bring a gift certificate somewhere. Guess how much that gift certificate is going to be? $10. And we're going to have a drawing. So everybody's going to have a gift certificate. And I want to bring a gift certificate of somewhere they would take their wife. So they might get their own gift certificate, so they take them somewhere. But it's going to be $10. So you're going to have to be creative. You can't add nothing to it in taking your wife on a $10 date. So you're going to have to be creative. Now, I don't know if some of y'all remember, but when you first met her and you was broke, you learned how to do a $10 date. You was more creative then. Now you can just kind of share it out and buy a date and kind of, but a $10 date, you got to be creative. So they're gonna have to do a $10 date, be creative again, get the creative juices flowing. And then we'll meet again, we wanna know what happened. Because I'm gonna be taking notes, so I can do their $10 date. You see? So accountability, disciple making, see, here's what we've done is we're not very careful. This is what I was doing. I was reproducing disciple making classes and not disciples. Y'all know the difference? I was just reproducing classes and not disciples. And I was calling that my disciple making. Just had a bunch of classes with a lot of teaching, you see, but I wasn't really reproducing disciples. If I'm going to reproduce disciples, they got to be with me.
Mark 3:14, put that in your notes. Jesus ordained 12, they should be with him. Period. With him. And he simply said, loosen your rein and go with me everywhere I go. Take the way I think, and look at what I look at and see like I see. Emulate me step by step. Follow me. When I take a step, you take. Stimulate me all the way home. I won't put it in your hands to run the 12 minutes that I'm now up. It's not even Jerusalem, the one prospect. So I told you to go and you'll go, so I'm going, so you'll go, you went another way.
And guess who my number one disciple is? My wife. She's the one I'm with all the time. Well, more time than anybody else. Now, do I sit down with her with a Bible across the table and teach her and say, hey, you don't memorize your scripture, then you got penny $20? No, because she got the upper hand on that. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. She got the upper hand in that game. I can't play that kind of game. It's too costly for me.
Hey, let me give you a testimony there too. I've got a wife who's a secretary. I mean, I can't imagine anybody being a better secretary. I can give her a piece of paper in 6 file cabinets. I mean, that's 4 drawers apiece of file cabinet. She'll file that. 2 years later, without the blue, I'll say, I need that piece of paper. She'll go right back to that place, open that up, doesn't even fumble. She goes directly to that spot, pull that piece of paper out of my hands in 1 minute after that. You asked me to do that, and kill me. She's the most incredible person I've ever seen.
Yes.
And listen to this. She's not a podium person. She's very quiet. She teaches only in informal settings, and she doesn't even know she's doing it. She's doing it all the time. But whenever I'm overseas or somewhere, I play a trick on her. Somebody says, I want 2 Timothy 2:2. I tell her, go to the computer and Google the word commit. I'll make her look it up. She'll talk all these verses until she comes 2 Timothy 2:2. In other words, I'm getting her in that book where she has to learn this. She say, I know where that's found. You just train her as you go along. She just never sees herself as a podium person. Now, every time somebody moves there, she just loses it. Share that. You build one, go, your greatest project, I say my greatest load in life is to please him and her. I live 100% for her life, not 50-50 like people say marriage is. Somebody's going to break down to 50. So if I go 100 to nothing with no expectation on the far end, I'll find her doing exactly the same thing for me. If I expect 50-50, somebody can break down. I just say, what can I do today to make you happy?
So I've never sat down across the table with her and said, okay, let's do this. No, she learns by with me. And if I see, if I had a lesson I've taught, I said, man, that's a great lesson. I give her and say, this will be a good lesson for the teacher if you learn it. And if she stood here talking with you, and some of y'all know her, you would think I was here. You would think I think I was here. But, it's through the with me process, it's through the with me, okay? And, so, it's pretty amazing, pretty amazing. So that's number one. And then, just branch it out from there. This right here, my grandson. Stand up there, grandson. Y'all watching. Y'all watching. But we were in Africa. Now, I've not had any one-on-one personal teaching time with him, but we were in Africa together, and he had his own venue we sent him to. But I have no doubt what he did, what he taught. I got a report back on it, and he taught. Brother Herb could come stand and teach a lesson, and he could come stand and teach a lesson, and he's 4 generations down, it would be the same thing.
Luke 6:40 says, when the process is completed, the disciple will be like his teacher. So if my disciples do not sound like me, I have these things, but myself to think.
And if the 4th generation doesn't sound like the first, you will never get to the others.
Be that careful. You have to transit to him so that he catches not just what you taught him, but the concept of multiplications. So it starts over with every disciple is made. He's not multiplying, he's breaking down the first replication.
And then you have where there are times that we teaching. At one group, one of these guys right now is snuggled up to the border in Somalia. He was with me 8 years. Really got a lot of money over it. A young suburban kid from Atlanta, so white is clear. And work in the hood. His parents did not like me because he was back in lottie in school. Was this smart, worked on Capitol Hill for Senator Nichols, was lining himself up for NBA, gonna go into politics, and we met at camp. And then he kind of dumped all that and came to be Hampton and lived in the hood and put him in an old ragged house where African Americans say they won't even live. And so he's over there eating bologna nachos and Roman noodles. And this boy could ride his ticket anywhere he want to go. But he said, I want to get time with you. I said, well, I don't have a job for you, but I can give you all the time you can stand. So the boy went to work for Manpower. Magna cum laude guy. Read 25 books a year. Genius. Work for Manpower just to get time. Well, man, his parents didn't like me because they made all that investment into him on education. Now he's living in the hood. He's making bologna nachos. And so he began to work in this community and had an old raggedy dog. He'd go in there and work with the kids. And I just poured my life into him, gave him all the time I could give him. God passing his heart for Africa. So right now he's snuggled up to a country that's got more warlords per capita than any other country on the globe. And they come across the border, he disciples him. His wife's a nurse. And he just kind of does the English school as a cover. And does some water well and stuff, so he disciples, they'll go across the border, spend in the churches, make disciples there, and some of them are martyred. But it's just that with me time. It's that with me time. And one way I like to put it is that when the high priest went into the Holy of Holies, when he came out after making all the sacrifice, he wore a robe. And if you walk by, you could smell where he had been in there about what was on his robe, and the Holy of Holies represent where God's presence was. So you stay in God's presence. You have a very vital quiet time, a devotion time. Stay close in communion with God. And let the aroma of his presence be on you. And when you walk by people who are looking for that, you make disciples have that aroma on you. When you walk by people who are looking for that, they'll smell that aroma on you, and they'll say something like, hey, can we have a breakfast? And they want to investigate, and see what is this aroma that I'm smelling on you. And some of them are really asking, can I get some time with you? Will you disciple me? Will you pour your life into me? So, aroma is a big thing.
But 2 Corinthians 2:14-16, and I can't guarantee that text, but as best my memory serves me, that's what the fragrance, I can say, or 2 Corinthians 2:14-16, I believe that's the verse.
And see, when I spend time with Brother Hurd, I have no doubt he's being with the Lord because he just overflows. He just overflows out of you. And I desire.
Also,
That's right.
so, also, in that same thing you talked about,
Yeah.
is that every time I was in his hall with him or in small groups, I was so challenged to see that aroma in him that when I left there, I was motivated to try to go up and follow and try to be that follower.
In Matthew 4, 19, when Jesus tells those disciples, follow me. Well, once again, you got to do your background, and I think they give you some tools that lets you do that. But anytime Jesus was rabbi, that's the culture came into, and we can't overlook that. That's the title we give him more than the other, teacher. And so, when a rabbi told someone to follow him, what they were saying is, I believe you can be like me. So he was telling them to follow me, to be like me. So guess what he's telling us?
All of it.
To do what? To be like him. So if we're going to be Christ-like, then we ought to be doing the things Christ did. And read your Gospels and see what he did. When he started his earthly ministry, after that, in Matthew 4, he spent 85% of his time on earth with those disciples. Now, today's standard would look at him as a failure. Today's standard of Christianity and success and ministry and stuff, they would look at him and go, man, he left the earth and leave for 12. These mugs, 12 mugs behind. You see, 12 guys in their culture who would be looking like failures, unsuccessful. And he would be counted as a failure. But guess what? We are here today as Christians because of what he did for 85% of his time with primarily 11 young guys. So let's compare our ministry to Jesus' ministry. And if we parallel what we do to what he does, then does it have any resemblance? If it does not, then what you are doing is not Christ-like. If it has no resemblance, and the product does not look like his, then what we are doing is not Christ-like. Because what does it mean to be like something? Imitate it. It has the same product. Everything we produce is after what? Its own kind. So if our kind does not look like his kind, we are producing or reproducing the wrong kind. And it may be because we're not the kind. Because you will reproduce what you are.
John 3:22 speaks of Jesus spending time with the disciples.
Mm-hmm.
Would you speak on that Greek word, Trevor?
I will. Yes, John 3:22, it says, Jesus took his disciples into the Judean wilderness, and he spent time and baptized. Well, You know, a lot of people talk about disciple making, no evangelism. There's this big debate, evangelism and disciple making. Well, if you've been discipled correctly, you know that they go hand in hand. There's no separation between the two. And it doesn't take long being around Brother Herb, some of these disciple makers, to know that they're going to share the faith and share and witness to folks. So they were baptized, so let's just know they were doing some evangelism in there. But the key thing is diatribo, D-I-A-T-R-I-B-O, diatribo. Now,
That's the word that's translated spending time.
yes, spending time. In the King James, it's tarry. It's the word tarry. And even in our translation, spending time is diatribo. That's where you want to look, because when you spend something, what comes back? Nothing. So in our context, when we think of spending, he wasn't spending, he was investing. Now, diatribo. Tribo means to rub. To rub. Dia means into or through. Come up here, middle town. You live in one of them towns up there. You know, one town to the next. Okay. Now, can I rub him from here? Huh?
No.
What about from over here? What about from here? To rub him, I gotta be up close and personal.
Two.
You see? That's what he did. Thank you. He took them into the wilderness and got up close and personal and rubbed his character off on them and into them. And not only his character, but who he was. Disciple making must be who you are, not what you do. It must be who you are, not what you do. Because they're going to reproduce who you are. Everything reproduces what? After its own kind. They're going to reproduce who you are. Who you are. And you know what? When it becomes who you are, it makes it a lot easier to do. But you just be who you are. Disciple maker. And just reproduce who you are.
I was thinking about how we can spend as much time with her as she did. See, we spend all the time in the world we want to, any person, learning.
That's right.
And I do that all the time, my life.
How Katie used to do. He don't know it, but he be riding Christians, got one, he be talking to me on one side, he got Brother Herb on the other end. I know what he's doing. Ain't that right? But he's gonna teach it that night. That's what I said, man, just put it on the radio, we'll both hear it. But I know what he's doing.
And Brother Hurt has a mail out that you can see, get a CD a month also.
That's right. Good point. Great question. Great question. See, what's the day? The day. Saturday. Okay. All right. Now, how many was in church last Sunday this evening? Okay. All right. Now, how many of you reproduced anything from the message last Sunday? Well, he shouldn't even preach it. What did he preach it for? What did he spend 20 hours?
Are you speaking
Study.
from his standpoint?
Correct.
Or from the standpoint of strategy?
Well,
The preacher preaches to satisfy himself. If he's satisfied with the sermon he's ready to preach, I'm like this. I've been around that preachers. They satisfy themselves, they're clean. It never occurs to them there's a strategy involved here. If my message can't be transferable, it's not worth preaching. now, your purpose is avoided. The army's destroyed. If they walk out there and say, that's a good sermon, that's it. Wasting time. Sorry, that's true.
So, he said, if you preach it, it's not going to be produced. I used to, every fall at our fellowship, I would identify maybe 18 people. And so we would go to the first service to listen to it, take notes. Then we'd get the CD, come back to my house, my wife would cook a meal, we would re-listen to the CD, take notes again. And every one of us was like, I didn't even hear the preacher say that. Everybody. Because once you're taking some notes, they've gone on, you've missed the next one, so now you on point 3, you might catch it. But they've gone on, you see. So much we missed, then we discuss it. And then we go over it and outline it again, because for them to come back to this strategy of what to do with a sermon, they have to teach it to someone that week, whoever will listen, their spouse, their friend, their co-worker, their kids, they have to teach it to someone in order to come back the next week to do it again. You see? Then a sermon becomes a strategy. It becomes curriculum for discipling. You see? And if your preacher knew that y'all was repeating what he says, what do you think that would do for his preparation? How would he begin to view what he presents? He would begin, even in preparation, is this easy transferable? Are these concepts, can they grasp them? Are my scriptures clear? Did I say the scripture twice instead of once when I said it? I mean, it's going to raise his presentation skills immensely if he knows people are repeating what he says. If you don't believe me, come on a trip with me. And you're sitting there, and there's a group of 25 sitting there, and you're teaching, and it comes to your awareness, man, they are taking notes and recording everything I say. What do you think it's going to do to your awareness? And I bet as much as possible be on target here. Better make sure they understand that as much as possible, and that it's easy transferable. Some of our teaching and preaching here is not transferable globally, because all they got in mind is those folks sitting in front of them in a Western mindset. You see? And there's no way you can see it if you never get out there. You gotta get out there. You gotta get out there. So, today is Saturday. Who's going to church tomorrow? You be here? Okay, very good. But next time you at your church, take notes and reteach them. Reteach them. And if you can't reteach it, you don't have it. Jesus taught his main body of teaching over 500 times each to the same group. Repeat after me. Now you know it, so don't act funny. Don't act funny, JT. A, B, C, D, come on. E, F, G, come on. Oh, you can do better than that. Come on. Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Anybody been older than Brother Herb? How you 80 what, 2? Close enough. When did you learn that song? Okay. Well, you go to somebody else. What about you? How old? When did you learn? Like he was born already 4 years old, 5 years old. Okay. He's talking about 61 years. And all we had to do was say A, B, C, D, just A, B, C, and everybody, boom. Repetition. 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 That's how you gotta do this disciple making stuff. You gotta just teach it and teach it and teach it and teach it repetitiously over and over. Learn different ways to say it, but keep the concept the same, and teach it over and over and over. My first time going out with her, I taught my first lesson in like 8 minutes with translation. With translation. The her said, teach vision. I stood up there with them folks. I said, I quoted Proverbs 29:18, and I said, y'all have vision. And I said, the Holy Spirit, you got to do the work now. I said, now. Brother Herb got up to call it for 2 hours. I said, oh, that's how it's done. I said, Brother Herb, give me another shot. So that on that day, gave me another shot. I knew how to do it. Well, on this trip that I come from now, I probably talked 50 hours by myself. And you know what? I didn't need outlines. I didn't need my Bible open before me. How can I do that? How can I do that? A, B, C, D. Because there's some places I go, I can't get caught with this open. So does that mean they should have a chance to hear the teaching of the word and the scriptures and stuff just because I can't open this?
No.
You see? So repetition. Over and over and over till you can repeat it. Till you can just stand out here. You can just stand out here and teach the whole lesson and not have to open this. And when you begin to, and that's what happened to me. When you begin to command it like that, guess what it will do to you? It will begin to command you. Yeah. And you talk about a guy that teachers had a class vote on whether I should pass in high school. That can keep me from going over something over and over and over and repeating it, repeating it, repeating it, repeating it. You see? Now what do you think it would do to your pastor if you came to him, if you just repeated his sermon to him, just right there on him? What do you think that would do to him? Mess him up. Mess him up. Because number one, he don't believe nobody's hearing in the first place. You know, the greatest phenomenon today